Thank you so much. It's an honor to share with you for a few minutes tonight. And I'm actually shorter than Marty Emerald and everyone else here tonight. I do want to say something about Marty Emerald. I'll talk in a few minutes about my journey and talk about my theme tonight, which is dreaming big and changing the world for women and children. 2 years ago, when Marty Emerald started running for the city council and then got elected, most of us felt like we didn't have any true advocate on the city council that was going to protect the journey of the San Diego Family Justice Center, and then Marty got elected. And I've got to tell you, for those of you that know the journey of the San Diego Family Justice Center, if it wasn't for Marty Emerald today, there would be more women dead in the city of San Diego. She actually turned the center around and made the difference in the last year and a half. So I just want to say, God bless Marty Emerald. She's done an amazing job as a city council member. In 1985, I was a new prosecutor in San Diego. I was totally incompetent. I didn't know where to sit in the courtroom. I didn't know whether you should sit near the jury or away from the jury. I'd gone through Stanford and UCLA. I'd never heard the phrase domestic violence. I had no training of any kind, and I was assigned to handle domestic violence cases for the city of San Diego. Within a matter of weeks, I was in court dealing with very angry women who were screaming at me saying, "Why are you doing this? Why is no one helping me? Where are the resources that I need?" And I just kind of kept trying to do my job without any knowledge, any education, or any background. And I was visited by a woman named Ashley Walker, who was the founding a member of Battered Women's Services at the YWCA of San Diego County in 1985, who came to my office and said, "I hear you're the new domestic violence unit for San Diego." And I said, "I am." And she said, "Tell me everything you know about violence against women right now." 20 seconds later, after I concluded my remarks, Ashley said, "You are an idiot." And I said, "I am an idiot. I don't know anything. And I've been given this job and I'm totally incompetent." And then Ashley Walker invested her life in me. And she's still one of my best friends. She's on the board of the National Family Justice Center Alliance today, along with Mike Scoggin, our chair, who's sitting here in the front row. And Ashley kept investing in me. Ashley's a sexual assault survivor. She knew a lot about what it meant to be abused and traumatized, and she kept helping me understand it and understand it and understand it. So before I speak at all tonight, I always give tribute to Ashley Walker, because 25 years later, I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for feminist women like Ashley, who reached out to me 25 years ago and said, "You need to help us, and you can help us make a difference in the world for women who are experiencing sexual assault and violence and abuse." But 25 years later, I stand here tonight because for all of the positives and exciting things we're talking about at this conference, the journey's not over for a lot of women in this country and around the world who aren't yet empowered and who don't yet have equal opportunity and who don't yet have the opportunity to pursue their dreams. This afternoon, I sat with a woman named Rose Javero. I visit Rose about once every 2 weeks. She's in the subacute care unit at a hospital here in San Diego. Rose is from San Diego. Her mom and dad own a bakery in Bonita. Rose is in a vegetative state. She's been in a vegetative state for a year. Because a little over a year ago, Rose was living in Las Vegas, Nevada with her husband and 4 children, and she made a decision she didn't want to be abused anymore. So Rose left her husband January of 2009. She left. She went into hiding, but she had to work to protect her, to support her family. She had 2 jobs. She worked for Century 21 Real Estate, and she worked for a restaurant in Las Vegas, Nevada. But if you know about Las Vegas, Nevada, the agencies don't work together. Nobody really coordinates anything. Violence against women is not a high priority in Las Vegas. And so Rose just kept doing what she could, but unbeknownst to her, her husband was stalking her, and he stalked her for 2 months. And then on March 30th of 2009, he came out from behind a car as she walked into her place of employment, and he opened fire. He shot and killed her coworker, Tony Wright, at the scene, and Rose was hit twice. One bullet went through her neck, went in one side, came out the other. The other bullet lodged and shattered in the left lobe of her brain. She was immediately in a vegetative state. She's been in a vegetative state ever since. Her mom and dad transferred her a year ago to San Diego. She has a do not resuscitate order above her bed. But I go visit her every couple of weeks just to remind myself, one, why we do what we do in this work to stop violence against women, and two, to remind myself that the battle's not over yet, that the struggle's not done. Rose Javera was never mentioned in a newspaper article, not in Las Vegas, not by the AP, not in any story in America. And yet she's an unbelievably tragic story of another casualty in the war on women in this country that still continues to go on. 20 women have died in the last 7 days in the United States in domestic violence homicides. 2 police officers, 6 children, 5 girls, 1 boy. That's the struggle that we're still in the middle of. So as I share tonight about dreaming, and the reason I picked the title Dream Big, is because I believe that some work that's been done in San Diego over the last 25 years by a lot of courageous women and some allied men has set a standard and has created a model that can help change the world. It was mentioned earlier that because of our work collaborating together in San Diego over the last 25 years, the city of San Diego has the lowest domestic violence homicide rate today of any major city in America. That's a stunning number. Those of you may know in a bad economy, violence against women always goes up, resources always go down, the demand for services goes up, but the funding for it always goes down. And yet, just a few weeks ago, based on the San Diego model, Mayor Michael Bloomberg in New York City announced that their family justice centers had reduced domestic violence homicides in the city of New York 50% in the last 4 years. 50% reduction in violence against women involving homicide. And so the reason I wanted to share a little bit tonight about what's been going on in San Diego and what's now going on around the world is for those of you that have been touched by family violence, I want you to know there's hope. For those of you that want to do something to change the world, you can join us in the journey that we're on. There's 2 wonderful volunteers over at the San Diego Family Justice Center booth tonight in the exhibit area. 2 young women who currently volunteer at the San Diego Family Justice Center of all kinds of information. But here's what happened. In 1990, Center for Women's Studies and Services and the YWCA and the San Diego City Attorney's Office and a whole bunch of others all sat down together and said, we're going to be more powerful if we work together than if we work apart. If we could come up with one place where everybody could get their services, wouldn't it be better? And in fact, we started interviewing survivors of abuse, and we said, would you like to come just one place? And the answer, of course, is always yes. They'd like to come one place. But I don't know if you know this, but in San Diego in 1998, as we started counting, we identified 32 different places where victims had to go to get their help. Between everything they needed, 32 different places. And the answer is they never make it there. They might make it one place, but not 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or 15. They go home to their abuser because they can't make it through our systems and our agencies and the public agencies and the private agencies. And so we started dreaming together and saying, you know what, we could figure this out. We could be the first place in America to figure this out. And by 2002 in San Diego, we figured it out, and we brought together 27 agencies in the San Diego Family Justice Center at 7th and Broadway in downtown San Diego. Within a year, we were serving 1,200 women and children a month, 1,200 family units with children included every month in the city of San Diego. And our homicide rate within a year dropped over 60%. 60% in 1 year. When all the agencies came together and said, you can come one place to talk to a cop, to talk to a prosecutor, to get a restraining order, to get counseling, to get help for your kids, to work on job training, to get public assistance, to apply for a reimbursement for your victimization from the State Victim Compensation Board, all in one place. Meet with a chaplain, see a doctor, meet with a nurse, all in one place. And that center that opened in 2002 opened with very little fanfare. We tried to get a lot of media, but it's tough to get a lot of public exposure for things like that because it's good news. When someone dies, it's all over the news. When someone lives, nobody talks about it. When someone's life is saved, it's not a news story. When someone's bludgeoned to death, then it's a news story. So we struggled to get the word out, but by January of 2003, Oprah Winfrey paid attention. And we got profiled for 2 days on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And within a year, visitors from 70 countries came to the San Diego Family Justice Center to tour it. And within a year and a half, President George Bush gave us $20 million to replicate it. And we created 15 and today 60 family justice centers. Last week, President Obama endorsed the concept, and Attorney General Eric Holder recognized family justice centers as the most innovative victim services approach in America today for dealing with victims of domestic violence. Presented an amazing award to Gail Strack, who was the first director of the San Diego Family Justice Center in Washington, D.C. just last Friday for National Crime Victims' Rights Week.